Hello, welcome back to my channel, Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. I hope that everyone's well and had a good week so far. As you can see, I got my cabinet painted finally. I am very happy with how it turned out. I got 2 coats on it. It's all dry. I started over the weekend. I didn't tell my husband before I came downstairs to start it. He hates painting and he hates moving furniture and he hates all that. He wants to start measuring and pulling out all kinds of tools, and I don't have time for that. So I just came down and started it, and after about an hour, he comes downstairs and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm painting my cabinet. You know, I was going to paint it." And he said, "You're just like a little kid." He said, "If a kid gets quiet, you have to go check on them. They're usually cutting their bangs." And he said, "Here you are painting that cabinet by yourself." I said, "Well, it's easier and I'm fine. It's nothing I can't do." So he did take the hardware off for me and spray painted it black and put it back on when the cabinet was dry. So he did help, but I didn't tell him before I started because I didn't want all the tools to come out and all the, we have to measure and make sure we can do this, and you're going to have to take, I just didn't want to do that. So I do it my way, and it's a little faster. Anyway, I am wearing the Love Notions tidal dress, and I've made this 2 times. This was my practice garment, and it was made out of a double brush poly. This came from fabric.com before they closed, I guess. But it's a very thin double brush poly. It's very lightweight and it clings. It's real clingy, which most double brush polys are, but this one's a little more so. And also, if you can see here, my neckline is droopy. I have a droopy neckline in more than one way. I think I should have shortened the neckband some and tightened it up, and it would lay flatter. So I need to go in and unpick all that and shorten the neckband by more, because this was a very stretchy fabric, and I think I needed to do that. So, and I will at some point, but it might have been, I think too, on this one, I made it a size larger than I made the second version. And so the way the tidal is constructed, the back piece comes around to the front and creates princess lines, but my princess lines are back too far. So I think I sized down in the next one. And on my little mannequin back here, you may see my dress. This is Simplicity 8872. And I made the version the model is wearing, except I left off the neck closure and I didn't put a ruffle at the bottom. I just left it straight. And I love this dress, and I lined it with a white cotton voile, just a real light white cotton, so I don't have to wear a slip with it. But the fabric came from Fabric Mart Fabrics, and it was just a cotton lawn. But if I'm honest, it kind of looks a little bit nightgowny in this little calico and the little purple flowers. And I love it. I love wearing it. It's comfortable and it looks good. It's more fitted through the top and then the loose gathered skirt. I really like it a lot. But I brought it down here and put it on my mannequin. I've got some purple cotton fabric. I wanted a purple corduroy, but I've not been able to find one anywhere that I've been or looked online. So I may just use a cotton fabric and make a little vest. And I thought if I made like a little bolero, however you say that, that's how I say it, so I don't know. But a little vest to wear over it, I thought that might make it a little less nightgown-ish. But anyway, it's Simplicity 8872. So I had a couple questions from my sewing room tour about my sewing books. And I wanted to take time and show you some of them. And then I'll tell you one way that you, if you're interested in them or if you can't find them to purchase, somewhere you might could go to get access to the books even before you buy them, even if you can find them and you wanted to purchase one. So I've got a lot of quilting books, but I'm not going to show you those in this video. I don't want it to be real long. So I'm just going to show you the sewing books that I have and that I use. And the ones, I've got a couple that I haven't really used, but I've looked through all of them. I used to belong to a book club, and I always got quilting books, crafting books, sewing books, and you paid just very little for them. You could get so many free, and then you had to take some or send them back. But I was part of that for a long time, and I really enjoyed that because that's how I got most of my books. A few of these older ones people had given me, ladies maybe from church that would have to quit sewing, or you know, whatever the reason, they would pass them on to me. So anyway, most of these came from the book club, though, and a few I bought off Amazon. I bought a quilting book a couple weeks back for $3, and it's for scrap quilts, which is what my favorite quilt to make is. So the first one I'm going to show you is The Ultimate Sewing Bible, and it's by Marie Clayton, and you may recognize her name. She's very talented. And this book tells you everything from fabrics to sewing machine information to stitches to garment construction to home deck stuff you can make, from sewing buttons on, and it has color illustrations and a few color pictures, but it has color illustrations throughout. And I don't know, it's by C&B Crafts, and I don't know what year this is. Let me real quick look at that. I should have gotten all that information and wrote it down, but I didn't, so bear with me 2 secs. This is a 2008, so it's not super new, but it's got great information in it. The Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Sewing, step-by-step techniques for making clothes and home accessories, and it does have some simplicity patterns included, and this is a fairly new book. I don't know, it talks about Project Runway some, and it's got some reviews by some of the Project Runway people that were on that. And I don't see 2011, so it's not super new, but it's the Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Sewing, and I'm not sure, but I think I ordered that one off Amazon. This one is Built by Wendy, Coats and Jackets, the Sew You Guide to Making Outerwear Easy, and it has some patterns included with it, and it is by Wendy Mullen with Eviana Hartman, illustrated by Becky Orpin. I'm not going to try to say a lot of these names because I'll butcher them, but this is one I got from the book club, and it's just jackets and coats. And then I have this one. It's embroidery stitches, doodle stitching it's called. And I really have enjoyed it, and I've fooled with it some, and I've read the whole thing, but I have trouble with my arthritis. I have trouble hand embroidering now, so I don't use it as much as I had hoped, but it is a good book if you like to hand embroider. So this one is the Everything Sewing Book, and I'm not going to attempt to say the name of the author because I know I will get it wrong. Even if I said it right, it would still sound funny. But this is From Threading the Needle to Basting the Hem, All You Need to Alter and Create Beautiful Clothes, Gifts, and Decorations. And I'll put that there so you can see the author's name. It says you can learn to make applique tote bags, curtains and tablecloths, dresses and skirts, pillows and wall hanging, shirts and vests. So there you go. This one is by Singer, the Singer Company, and it's a complete guide to sewing. And it does have good, large photographs, color. And I'll try to hold it up and show you a little bit. And it talks about everything from scissors, pins, tape measures, thread. It's a really good book, and I've read it from cover to cover. And it's a good resource to go back and look. I've got some pattern fitting books. This is Every Sewer's Guide to the Perfect Fit. Customize your patterns for a sensational look. And my light's shining on that cover. Sorry about that. And I'll put it up there so you can just see the authors. But it's very good, and it talks about, you know, the forward shoulder adjustment. It talks about all kinds of fitting problems and ways that you can solve them, and it has color pictures and examples. So I've read this one through and through, and it's very good information. And that's it. Sorry about the light. All right, go a little faster. This one is Sewing Secrets from the Fashion Industry, and I must say that it's a very good book. Susan Huxley is the editor of this book. Proven Methods to Help You Sew Like a Pro. And it has color pictures and illustrations. This is another Singer, and it's called the Sewing Reference Library, Sewing Essentials. And it's the first how-to sewing book that shows every detail in full color photographs. I can't really turn the pages. But they're all good. I mean, I've got them all for a reason. I liked them. Now, I've got two here that I'm going to hold off because they are two of my very favorites. So I'm going to wait and show you those at the end. This is another fitting book, and it's called Perfectly Fitted, Creating Personalized Patterns for a Limitless Wardrobe. And this is by Lynn Garner. And it tells you, it says, sew clothes that fit. Having clothing that fits you to a T doesn't have to mean expensive tailoring or couture finishes. So it also, I think, has color pictures and some illustrations. And sorry, I don't have a better way to show you the insides, but you get the idea. So that one is that. This one is one of my tried and true books. I have used it. I have referred back to it, and I do all the time. This is Pattern Fitting with Confidence by Nancy Zeman. And this is just one of my most favorite books. Now, I bought this one off of Amazon, and I think some of them have a DVD of her included, but this one did not. This was just the book. But it's the pivot and slide technique. And I've had a lot of success with that. You know, you can, I know she says on one of her videos, she says that you can take a pattern, even if it's been cut to a smaller size, you can increase the bust area by 4 sizes, and the waist and hips are kind of unlimited. So even if you have a pattern that's, you know, too big or too small for you, with her technique, you can adjust that pattern and retrace it out. And so that I have done that. She recommends picking the size that goes with your upper bust, your high bust measurement. That way you'll get a good fit through the neck and shoulders. Then you adjust all the little ins and outs. This is the Sewing Machine Accessory Bible by Wendy Gardner and Lorna Knight. And this talks about everything sewing machine, all the feet, all the things that you can use to make decorative trim on your garments or your quilts or whatever you want. It's just full of information about sewing machine accessories to make your life easier. And the next one, this is another great fitting book, and I've used it quite a bit. I have a little more trouble with it simply because, well, I'll tell you about it. It's the Palmer Pletch Complete Guide to Fitting, and it's by Patty Palmer and Marta Alto. And it's the tissue fitting book, and they make it look so easy, but I have had I've had varying success with this book. To me, it's very hard. The tissue is so thin, and I have trouble getting it pinned together and all the things. So it's probably just me, but it's a great book, and it talks you through a lot of fit adjustments, you know, full bust adjustments or small bust adjustments in my case. And it shows you how to pattern fit with the tissue, so you don't have to make wearable muslins as much, I guess, or wearable practice garments or non-wearable practice garments in my case. It's a great book. Very smart people. My goodness, so smart. And sorry about the light. Okay, I've only got 3 or 4 left, so I'll hurry. Now, this is a book by Kay Witt, and I love watching her. I've seen some of her stuff on YouTube, but this book is called So Serendipity. And it is by Kay Witt, and she gives you the patterns and information for some garments that you can make. And it's just a wonderful book with great information in it. And that's one of the dresses you can make, and the patterns are in the back. You have to trace them, of course, but that's a skirt. I've made one of the skirts a long time ago, but I outgrew it. So wouldn't you know. Has a jacket here in it that I've always wanted to make this jacket. But she's just so good at everything, and she's so cute and sweet, and I just think you would really, you know, I always think, well, I would like to meet her in person, but you never know how people are in person. But she seems very nice, and she uses a lot of cotton, a lot of quilting cottons. She puts borders on a lot of her dresses just for an accent piece, and I enjoy all that. Now, this is the book that I made the little aprons out of a few weeks ago, and this is the Perfect Apron, and it includes over 20 full-size patterns and templates, and it told me how to make some of them. And I may have to put pictures in of these because I know that light's distracting. But that one's great. It's a great book. And the last information book, I guess, is The Dressmaker's Handbook, and it's by Renee Berg, A Complete Guide to Techniques and Materials. And it is full of information. Says practical and informative with clear instructions and diagrams to help you perfect your garments. So it's got a lot of information in it, and it's good to familiarize yourself with this stuff, because that way when you need to do it, you don't have to go back and try to read everything all at once. Let me grab some water. I've talked so much, I'm getting dry. My daughter got me this for Mother's Day. And it has strawberries. And it's stainless steel, easy to clean. And it has the thing in it here. She found it at Harbor Freight, of all places. All right. Okay, I've got 2 books here, and I saved the best. Well, I saved 2 of my favorites for last. This is the first book that I had gotten by, this is Tilly and the Buttons book, and it's Love at First Stitch. And I have just enjoyed this book so much. And the 2 patterns that I have are my most made are... She tells you everything you need to know. Sizing, garment. This is the Megan dress. And I have made that little dress probably, I don't know how well you can see that. I have made that dress probably 5 times. And I even made one and did my own little hack and made an A-line skirt to it instead of the little, it's kind of A-line anyway, but I kind of made it a little bit more full skirt. But I have made that so many times. And she just goes into so much information. She tells you the supplies you'll need. She tells you size and fitting information. She's just so thorough, and her instructions are great. A beginner can totally follow along. Then she shows you ways in the next chapter. She'll show you ways to use that same pattern, but maybe hack it or change it up or make it a little more detailed. I think after the Megan, you can go in and add like a neck, a little button placket to the neck. This would be that one, and change the skirt up a little bit. So she builds on your skills. She starts you out on simple projects. And another pattern that's in here that I have made a ton There it was. The Margot pajamas. And I have made those things, oh my gosh, I probably got 10 pair of those pajamas. And they're easy, they're quick, they don't take a ton of fabric. For my size, I don't remember what size I made. I think I made a 5. Her sizes in this book run 1 to 8. That is like a waist of 24 to a waist of 38 and hip of 33 to 47. So it's not the most size inclusive, but it would be pretty easy, I think, to grade it up, to size it up. But it's a great pajama pattern, and I've used it so much. And so it's love at first stitch. Great book. And then I don't have her, I think it's her book, Make It Simple. That's the only one of the 3. I think that's what she has, is 3 books. But I don't have that one. But I do have the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. I hope you're able to see that. And I have made quite a few things out of this. But again, she just makes the techniques so easy and understandable. And, you know, from serging to putting some kind of stabilizer in your seam so things don't stretch out. And she talks to you about the different stretch fabrics. So that is all my sewing book. So my tip of how you can, if you want to look at these books without having to purchase them, try going to your local library. My local library here in Western North Carolina, they told me that if they don't have a book and I want to use it or want to look at it or want to check it out, they will order it for me. And then I can come in and check the book out and bring it home and read it and do whatever. And I think that's probably something that any local library would do. Now, I would look, you can look on eBay. You might find some of especially these older books that you might not be able to find on Amazon or anywhere. But eBay or thrift stores, I found some of these at thrift stores. Especially my quilting books. I've got a lot of those and the quilting magazines at thrift stores. So, so kind of, you know, use your imagination and look around at estate sales, thrift stores, you know, any garage sales, stuff like that. Just, you know, go with a purpose of looking for that kind of thing, and you might be surprised what you can find at a really good price. But then, if you can't, you know, there's eBay and Etsy and, of course, Amazon. I order some of the used ones on Amazon for $3 or $4. So, so that works for me. But if there's something else you'd like to see in more detail, or if I'll try to put pictures in, because I know that light was glaring on some of those book jackets and it probably was harder for you guys to see. But I appreciate if you've watched this far. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm working on my little tie front top and have that, hopefully I'll have that by maybe Friday. And just kind of been hanging around the rest of the time. So have a great rest of the week. And remember, the only way we'll be failures at sewing is if we stop trying. So don't ever stop trying, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.